Hi, this is Carolina Millan, and in today's video, I'm gonna share with you 9 books that every entrepreneur has to read. Alright, so let's start with the first book that I ever read. I'm sorry, that's not the right way to say it. The first business book that changed my mindset. The first business book I read that really changed the way I saw business, the way I saw my life. And that is this book, The 4-Hour Workweek. I read this book in 2011. While I don't really believe that you can actually live a 4-hour workweek, that's something personal. Maybe you can. Despite the title, I know most people get drawn to this book by the title. They're like, oh, can I really only work 4 hours a day? And I think those people, the reason they want to work 4 hours a day is because they hate their life, they hate their job. But when you love what you do, when you find something you love doing, it doesn't feel like work all the time. Now, don't get me wrong, I love taking time off, I love traveling, I love doing my thing, but I don't think I could work only 4 hours. Anyway, what I love the most about this book, number 1, helped me change my mindset. And number 2, it taught me about the power of leverage, the power of outsourcing, and the power of really just becoming a digital nomad. And that's something I've been doing for the past, 9 years or so, since I quit my job and began traveling and slowly building up my brand and everything. So if you haven't read this book, don't think that you're really gonna work 4 hours a week. At least it's not going to happen immediately, but it will add tremendous value to you, your business, and your life. Next book, The Choose Yourself Guide to Wealth by James Altucher. James Altucher is, I don't even know where to begin. I love James Altucher. I had the pleasure of interviewing him for my podcast. So actually, if you go to beyondthehustle.com and listen to episode 19, that's my interview with James Altucher, the author of this book. This book has many layers that make me put it on this 9-book list. And one of the most important layers is really the message behind it. It's really the message of choosing yourself. And that's what James stands for. So many people choose others. So many people put everything and everyone before them. My biggest takeaway from this book, I have 2 biggest takeaways. Number 1, the 1% a day rule, where you work on improving yourself and only comparing to yourself and improving 1% a day in 4 aspects of your life: spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. Focus on those 4 areas and only try to improve 1% a day compared to yourself yesterday. Don't compare to anyone else. And my second biggest takeaway about this book is the 10 ideas per day exercise to really work your idea muscle. So what James does is that every day he writes down 10 ideas. And it doesn't matter if most of those ideas are crap, because what matters is that you're actively exercising your brain and forcing it to come up with 10 ideas every single day. And one thing that we talked about on the podcast was that, what if I run out of ideas for myself? Well, think about ideas for other people. Let's say your parents or your kids or your friends or your colleagues, someone you know could use your ideas. Sit down and write down 10 ideas for someone you care about. Or even somebody you aspire to talk to, someone you don't know, but you want to come up with ideas for them and then figure out how to share them with that person. And that's actually, James told me as well in the interview, that's what got him to open doors at Google and other places where he always wanted to give a speech. How did he achieve that? By sharing his ideas with them. Ideas that he had for them to do business better. So, Choose Yourself Guide to Wealth. Next book. I'm still reading this one, actually, haven't finished it. Unshakable by Tony Robbins. Now, Tony Robbins, of course, has a bunch of other books that you may want to start with, like Awaken the Giant Within. But I have been to every single Tony Robbins seminar. Every one of them. Unleash the Power Within. I've been to Business Mastery 1 and 2. I have been to Date with Destiny, I have been to Life and Wealth Mastery, and I have seen Tony speak at other people's events. Yes, I love Tony. Here's a photo of me and Tony, and here's another photo of me and Tony. You get it. I love Tony. So this book is about you, your future, and your finances. And again, I haven't finished this book, and I can still tell you that I recommend it, because compared to the other book, Money, Master the Game, which is like 600 pages, it really intimidated me. Like I didn't read it. My husband did. This is a more digestible, I don't know if that's a word, but it's easier to digest because it's shorter. So Unshakable. By the way, I'm gonna put all the books in the description of this video, all of the links, so that you can grab every single book I'm recommending here. Next book, .com Secrets by Russell Brunson. Link in the description as well for this one. This book, my friend, especially if you're just starting out with digital marketing and you keep hearing the word sales funnel. Okay, that's 2 words. Expert Secrets and .com Secrets. Actually, this is, you need to get both. If you go to getrussellsbook.com, getrussellsbook.com, you can grab these books. They are absolutely amazing. This book teaches you how to turn your knowledge into an online business in a very strategic way, in a very step-by-step way. What I love about Russell is that he's not just theory. Everything he teaches is practical, even in his books. He has all these little drawings and diagrams and really genuinely good advice that he gives you. But .com Secrets, I would start with .com Secrets first, because this is going to help you figure out who is your market, what should be your niche, who is your ideal client that you want to work with, what is going to be your message, how are you going to position your personal brand, and everything that has to do with funnels and the like. So .com Secrets and Expert Secrets. Go to getrussellsbook.com. Next, Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. Now, maybe if this book hadn't been written yet, I would be recommending Crush It. I would also definitely recommend Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm also a huge fan of Gary. Here's a picture of me and Gary. And here's another picture of me and Gary. And here's another picture of me and Gary. I love Gary. Gary, I love you. I know you're not watching this, but Crushing It. If you really want to build a personal brand on social media, I couldn't think of a better guide, of a more practical book than Crushing It. Like, Gary has really been there, done that in every aspect here, and I absolutely love this guy. I love what he stands for. I love his message. I love his attitude. I love that he's all about being happy. Focus on what makes you happy. Don't get on social media just because, you know, everybody's doing it. Do what makes you happy. Think about what makes you happy and go do that. And if you can monetize it, my friend, even better. You found gold. That you hit the jackpot. That's what we do. That's what I do. That's what I recommend people do as well. That's why I teach people how to build their personal brands, because it's about not only finding something that makes you happy, but doing something that helps you generate a positive impact in the world. And that's what Gary has done, and that's what he keeps doing and teaching people how to do. So Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. Next book number 7, Millionaire Habits by Dean Graziosi. Dean Graziosi happens to be one of my mentors. I mean, literally, I paid $15,000 to be on a mastermind with him and Brendan Burchard. And well, here's a photo of me and Brendan, and here's a photo of me and Dean. I love these guys. The reason I'm showing you these photos of me and these people is because when you really admire someone, you want to get closer to them. I paid $15,000 so I can get in their radar, so I could get to know them on a first name basis, so that I could pick their brains and really learn something that you don't learn on a YouTube video or just a conference. But either way, this book, I mean, this book is freaking amazing, and this book is going to help you tremendously if you really want to develop the habits that are going to push you to success. Okay, so what Dean did in this book, and what I like about the book, is that he's so authentic. Like, that's one thing I love about Dean Graziosi. He's really authentic. He's constantly saying how much he sucks at writing. He says that one of his first books, people didn't want to even publish it because his writing was terrible, because he wrote the way he spoke, and so it didn't make any sense. But that's why I love Dean, because he has achieved so many things by being just your average person, not being a genius, not being incredibly smart, and he says so himself all the time. And it's all about, what this book is also about, is changing your story, changing the limiting story that you have in your head, finding your true why, connecting with your why and the reason you do things. Is it for yourself? Is it for the bigger, better good of the world? Is it for the people you love? There's actually an exercise he talks about in this book that's probably one of my biggest takeaways, that is called the 7 levels deep. And what that means is that you ask yourself, whenever you want something, like you have a big goal, a big want in your life, and you ask yourself, okay, why is this important to me? Why do I want this? And usually the first answer is not the real answer. So you ask yourself again, okay, I want more money. Or I want to be specific, by the way. I want to make $10 million. Okay, why do you want to make $10 million? And then whatever you answer, why is that? And why is that important to you? Why would that be meaningful to you? Until you will arrive at the root, the real reason you're doing things. And when you are connecting with that reason, with that why, trust me, my friend, your life is going to change and everything is going to be a lot more powerful. Book number 8, The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. This book is awesome. Now, I know Grant Cardone can be very polarizing. I know people who hate him. I know people who love him. I love the guy. I love Grant. I've interviewed him for my podcast. I've also met him, and here's me with Grant Cardone. I've interviewed him as well. Go to beyondthehustle.com to listen to all these interviews. But there are a few things where I just disagree with him, okay? There are things where I don't necessarily connect with him. But this book in particular really changed a lot of things for me. It changed the way I view my business. It changed the way I view success. He has this saying that goes like, success is my duty. Actually, I have a sticker up there. Maybe you can't really see it, but it says, success is my duty, my obligation, my responsibility. When you see success as something that you have to achieve, because if you don't achieve success, it's not just you that is getting hurt. When you don't achieve the success that you are meant to achieve in your life, you're also hurting all of the people that you're not going to impact, starting with your family, starting with the people you love. And this book, because I wanted to prove a point, I read it in one day. I sat down in a hotel room in Miami and I read it for a whole day. By the way, this one it has his autograph. Let's see if it'll focus. There you go. It says, "To my friend in Chile," and it's got Grant's signature. So that makes this book extra special to me. It's a really special book. So I strongly recommend you read it. There are quite a few exercises inside the book. Like here's one exercise I did. Name 5 traits of successful people in the corporate. What do you do best now? What do you need to work on more? There are quite a few things here that are going to help you. And this book is about going massively after your goals. Because if you take mediocre action, you get mediocre results. 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. And finally, book number 9, Mind Control Marketing, which, by the way, you can get this book if you go to mindcontrolmarketing.com. This book was first published, I think, in 1999 by Mark Joyner. This guy was in the military and he learned a lot about, of course, manipulation, but the way that he teaches it in the book is in a way where you want to do it ethically and you don't want to just control people or whatever. You want to really influence people in a positive way so that they take action and buy your products and services. Now, my friend, there's nothing wrong with selling your products and services as long as you know that they are valuable. If you are selling people something that you don't believe will make their lives better, don't manipulate them. Don't use manipulations. Which, by the way, brings me to book number 10, which unfortunately, I don't have it in my office right now. Yeah, I should have it here in my office, but I have it at home because I'm still finishing it. It's called Start With Why. I'm just going to put a photo here. Start With Why by Simon Sinek, or Simon Sinek. I think it's Sinek. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. That book is unbelievable. I'm still reading it. I'm halfway, and it's already changing so much about the way I view life. And let me just tell you real quick the main concept of the book. Companies, personal brands, and businesses, we're all about people in the end. There's something that Simon calls the golden circle. So imagine a circle, okay, with like 3 circles. In the middle you have your why. Then in the second circle you have the how. And in the external circle you have the what. So what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. And so most companies start with what they do. When they go out to the world and they tell the world what they're all about, most companies start with what they do. Well, we build computers, we make cell phones, we make televisions, we make tables, we are consultants, we're marketing consultants. Most people start with what they do, and that's how they introduce themselves, that's how they promote their products and services, that's how they do their marketing, that's how they do everything. When you only focus on what you do, and that's the message you put out, many times you have to turn to manipulation techniques to get people to actually buy from you. Do a lot of rebates, discounts, combos and stacks, and in the end, if you want to build a culture, if you want to build repeat customers, just going with what you do is not going to make people buy from you on a long-term basis without manipulating them to do so. That's only for the short-term gain. If you want to build a long-term brand, you have to start with why you do what you do. And the biggest example that he talks about in the book is Apple. Apple starts with why. They want to defeat the status quo. They want people to think different. They want to go with the, that poem. I think it's like a poem. Here's to the crazy ones. Because the people who think they can change the world are the ones who do. That's what Apple is all about. And then everything they do, it doesn't matter if Apple is not the best company or not. That's not the point. Because when you start with why you do what you do, people connect with that. And to leave you with the final message, that this was what Simon writes in the book. I love this sentence. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So start with why. I'm Simon Sinek. My friend, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was valuable. I hope you go and get all those books. In the end, it was 10 books. That was a bonus. So just find all the links in the description below this video, so you can get these books in digital format or physical format. As you can see, I do have a lot of physical books. I have more in my apartment than I have here, because this is my office. I moved here just a couple months ago, so I don't have enough shelves. But yeah, books. Read more. That's like always one of my resolutions every year. I know that I struggle with it a little bit, but I hope you enjoyed this video. In the next video, when I talk about books, I'm gonna talk about this book, The Tao Te Ching. It's a little too spiritual for me to include in this video, so I'm gonna make a video dedicated to that book, because I also feel like entrepreneurs need to be connected with their why, and of course their spiritual side. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button right now and tap the notifications bell so you never miss a thing. I'm uploading videos all the time about marketing, entrepreneurship, personal branding, lifestyle, my travel vlogs, and so I really hope you will enjoy having a look into my life and what I do, and hopefully I can serve you. You can also go to workwithcarolina.com to learn more about what I'm doing, and leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if you've read any of those books. Let's share some thoughts, and feel free to recommend other books that I haven't read, that I didn't mention. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Wait, there's a siren. I'm gonna cut this part. I'm gonna wait until it's gone.